You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
Makes no difference who you are.
It does.
Dreams come true.
Cathy threw us off.
Tonight in Phoenix, Arizona may not have been a fairy tale for Daniel Bryan, but it is for us. Why? Because the squad is back together, everybody.
It is. Dream team.
It's the first time all 5 of us have been together.
Finally,
That's right.
this is going to be fantastic. Welcome to the Raw After Show on AfterBuzz TV. Johnny Loquasto here. Let's just go down the lineup. Next to me, to my left, the Walking Dale on Twitter, Dale Rutledge, everybody. Yeah.
Howdy.
He's in the house. Across from me, the general manager of the Raw After Show, Ryan Morals Clum. Cluminator. Yeah, that's right. And actually, I'm going to get to you. On the couch, the cupcake herself, challenging Layla L to a bake-off last Monday. We have not heard back. Cathy Cupcake Kelley, everybody.
I feel like we're in sync. We're reunited.
Yeah.
And Cathy is back on the couch.
And we all look better than what's the one dude on NSYNC? The one got chubby. I forget what his name was.
All of
Joey
them.
Fatone.
Fatone
Joey
looks
Fat One.
He looks real Italian now.
Joey Fat One, right?
Joey Fat One looks
Joey
real
Fat One.
Italian. Last but not least, back from sabbatical. The last time we saw him, we played the FMK game with the entire roster.
And he didn't come back for 3 weeks after.
It is showtime, Josh Padget, everybody.
He was hoping we'd forgotten about that.
Oh man, this is so good to have you back, man.
It is great to be back. I love you guys.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Clummer Slam.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Who
You enjoyed hanging out with the Shield?
Yeah. Last week, I was at Raw last week in Anaheim, and I will say the audience was awesome.
Yeah, they were.
2 things I want to take from it. One, the Wyatt family, when they came out in the dark, I was like, man, no one can see us do this like they do on NXT. You know, they wave their arms to the music. Everyone in the audience, and you could barely hear it on TV, but everyone was clapping to the music. Every time there's a clap in the song, like we were beckoning the sacrifice of R-Truth last week. It was awesome.
We said before
So
we
was
went
R-Truth,
on air, we
Creative,
need
at least.
everyone to get like the Zippo lighter app on their phone and just like
I
in
think
the
that is
audience.
a great idea. Yes.
It'll be amazing.
Everybody just start doing it. That's awesome. And then I caught the Shield. I found them.
What do you mean?
I found them.
You found their GoPro
Did
laying
you go
around?
looking for them?
Yes.
Did you set a net trap?
I did. I was like,
Wait, how did you find the Shield? They're supposed to find you.
I'm Showtime Josh Padget.
That's a good point.
All right. I FMK'd that whole locker room.
Yeah, you did.
I know.
Wow.
Well, after a long night
You
with
do
Roman,
look a
he
lot
told
more
me where it was.
defined tonight than you did 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. With the Shield looking at Josh going, is that guy filming us, the FMK kid? FMK'd us.
Burning a lot of calories.
It does explain the glow.
It does. Looking fantastic as always. Josh Padget, everybody. All right, let's get to Monday Night Raw. Obviously, SummerSlam has 8 days past us, and we open up with the the Shield, lined up at ringside. Triple H, all suited up, comes out to the King of Kings, basically gets into it, saying SummerSlam was not personal against Daniel Bryan, but the end of last week was after Daniel Bryan basically called Stephanie trash.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So he did it to himself, basically.
Basically, that's what he's saying. He did it to himself. And then Triple H says he's going to bring out the champion we all deserve, Randy Orton, because he's breathing life back into the WWE Championship.
Calling your boss's trash doesn't work. Just go into your boss's office and try it and see what happens. It doesn't usually
I actually
work
don't
out pretty
recommend
well.
that. Yeah.
No, it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Unless, of course,
I've seen people do it, and usually they're not working with
And
you.
that's the last time you saw it.
Unless, of course, your boss is a garbage man. Then maybe.
Oh, yeah,
you
good
could,
point. Good point. Yeah.
Like Duke the Dumpster Drills, he could probably call his boss garbage.
Yeah. There you
Wherever
go.
he may be.
You found the one example. Good job.
I did. The one example. That almost makes sense. So Randy Orton comes down to the ring, and we just have basically a gift-giving ceremony. Triple H says, you know, when you're a champion like Randy Orton, you deserve the best. You deserve an amazing gift. So what comes out? A shiny new black Cadillac Escalade on 18s, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I like that. It made me think of, you know, what they give it's like when they give the Super Bowl MVP, usually Cadillac or something like that.
I think so. Yeah, as if a Super Bowl MVP needs anything.
Right, and that's but they always give a gift or like whenever you
rich guy or something.
I think the Ultimate Fighter, they always give the winner a car or something. It has that kind of feel. So I like that. I thought that was kind of cool.
Kathy, Escalade.
I would have rather him gotten a trip to Disneyland.
Well, that's I think that'd be really great to see the cameras follow Randy Orton around Disneyland.
Just RKOing all the characters.
Goofy.
Go do it.
Winnie the Pooh.
Goofy would take an RKO real good. He's got those floppy shoes. He's real lanky.
That's true. Yeah. Tigger would bounce right back from it, though.
Tigger would land on his feet like Shawn Michaels. He's a cat.
Yeah.
6 minutes in, we've referred to Disney like 2 times now. So.
I think we're done yet.
Might be okay. All right.
We're not
would
done.
just sandbag him and deadweight it.
If we can come up, if you want to tweet us what Disney character would take the best RKO. I'm saying Goofy, hands down.
Yeah.
But Tigger's a great
I
one,
think
though.
Tigger's a good one.
Tigger would be a no-selling son of a bitch, though.
I tell you
It
what.
would, absolutely. Great high spots with Tigger, though.
Oh, we also have to
Tigger versus
mention.
RVD.
We
What's
have
up?
to mention that at the end of the show, we're going to announce details on how to win the SummerSlam chair.
Thank you, Kathy.
People were very excited to get the chair that Kathy was
I would be
sitting
too.
in
It's a great
at
chair.
SummerSlam,
For God's sake, Kathy sat in it. It looks great.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to go any further with it. Not going any further. I'm just
I think
saying.
that's part of it. If I brought my chair in that looked the same, I don't think people would be
I
as
don't think
interested
people would
in
be
it.
as
Yeah.
willing. You know, Clum.
Clum, you
chair.
can keep your chair.
That'd be great if we auctioned them both off. Clums would get like $7, and it would be like me bidding on it. Like I want the chair.
It would be
It's a nice chair. I'll take it.
It would be worth less than face value.
But yeah, at the end of the show, Kathy will she'll give us the rules for the contest.
I never realized how far the couch was.
It's
from
too
me
far. I don't like
until
being this
Kathy
far
was
away.
over
Feel
there,
so
yeah.
distant.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm just saying, I just got caught in a moment. I'm just not happy being that far away on the couch.
You were still thinking about her sitting on that chair.
Yes, I am.
Actually.
No, okay, yeah. So the contest is coming up, so stay tuned for that. And we think we came up with a pretty good idea, guys. I think it's going to be really fun for the viewers and the listeners to take part. And it's going to be a really creative contest. We have a lot of creative people out there.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to see. And then we'll
But
announce.
you have to wait to see. Actually.
You do have to wait to see.
Well, that's in a couple weeks.
If you download the exclusive AfterBuzz WWE app. No, I'm just kidding. So, yes, the shiny black Escalade on 18s. Daniel Bryan comes out, had us all laughing when he goes, hey, it's a sweet ride, Randy. Way nicer than my Honda Fit.
Perfect
Which
car.
I'm sure he drives.
I would believe that actually.
He cruises around Washington with that thing.
I think the whole, which he started on SmackDown, that Randy Orton is pretty thing is very funny
great.
as well. You're just pretty. You're just pretty,
pretty
Randy.
car for a pretty wrestler.
Yeah.
A pretty man.
You call him Twinkle Toes tonight,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Twinkle Toes Orton.
And Orton's really good at like almost no selling it, but you can tell he's pissed.
Yeah.
I like that.
Orton's very good at subtle rage.
Yes. Yeah. That's
pretty much been what he's been doing.
silent rage. Like that's.
What happened to that guy? What happened to that guy? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
Is he at NXT?
I don't know. I actually was at Martin Cassius's house from Tough Enough this weekend, though.
Okay. You kind of look a little. You kind of resemble a little bit of Silent Rage with the facial hair.
Yeah,
and
a little bit.
whatnot.
I've had people say that before.
But you have no one knows where he's at.
Yeah, no.
Bummer.
Yeah.
I didn't really agree with him winning.
I prefer the Ono over Andy Devine. Yeah.
I didn't really agree with him
see
winning
that.
Tough Enough, anyways. Nonetheless.
I agree.
Well, I said it. I said it one
did
time.
it.
Damn it! I was gonna try and go all episode without saying that word. I'm not saying it again because I got crap on YouTube. Someone said I said that word way too often.
We need to keep a counter.
No. I'm good. Dude, I'm a professional. If I get
Steven,
called
leave the
out,
counter up on screen every time he says nonetheless.
if I get called out on something, I'm gonna fix it, and I'm not gonna say it more than one time. Probably. Considering we're 10 minutes in. All right.
Yeah, we'll see about it.
Nonetheless, damn it! All right, the Honda Fit. He thanks all the fans and John Cena, then thanks Triple H for finally showing who he was, basically a snake in the grass, and being as narrow-minded as Vince, and calls him a sellout in a suit. We're going pretty strong so far.
Yeah.
To start off Raw. Randy Orton then calls him Dan, which I also liked.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I like that as much as Twinkle Toes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Dan? That's almost, I think it's kind of like insulting, because he goes by Daniel. He's like, hey, Dan, hey, Dan.
Too familiar.
And his name's actually Bryan.
Well, sure.
It's just funny to see Dan. Yeah.
But Dan says, he's like, hey, Dan, I'm the face of WWE. Yeah. Daniel Bryan then says he will regain the WWE title at Night of Champions. Then Triple H goes into not nearly serenade as well as we did.
I mean, obviously, but yeah.
We really did have good.
That was pretty good.
We should think about a quartet.
We should be a boy band.
The AfterBuzz Quartet.
We could be a boy band.
The only one anyone wants to see is Padget. That's it.
He's the pretty one. I'll be the tough one.
Who's the badass, me or Dale? Dale's got the hair.
Look at the hair, yeah.
I'm the one that everyone forgets the name of, I guess.
You're the one everyone. You're the one that everyone wants to beat up.
And then I'll come out of the closet 15 years later.
You're the Christopher Patrick.
Oh no, that's not nice.
That's his name. There you go. She does. Whatever. You know, I'm.
Says Justin Timberlake.
Bottom line is in sync.
I'm Lance Bass.
You're right.
Kind of makes sense, I think. Kind of makes sense.
Oh, boy.
So, Triple H sings When You Wish Upon a Star, calls him a B at best, and then basically says, hey, you want to make this personal? It's going to get personal. He sets up a Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins, Ambrose, Roman Reigns, the Shield, the gift of the Shield, in a gauntlet match coming up later on tonight.
I love when Triple H says in this segment, like, in the real world, it does make a difference who you are. I thought that was like a good segue into.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
And I love how the segue from the falsetto Disney song to the game's promo voice. Like, it was like, wow, that's very impressive that you went immediately, just went right through it.
He has a very broad range.
Yes,
maybe you didn't realize.
Like Mariah Carey.
Very much so. Very much so. 18-year-old Mariah Carey especially, she had range, for sure. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like I was missing something. In
No, when she started off, that was like when her voice was real good.
So you
She could hit like a high F.
being
yeah, like Vision of Love, Mariah Carey. That was pretty close.
I don't know.
No, that was
That's
screeching
not
hamster.
quartet worthy over there.
Well, I'll be damned.
I won't do tenor, okay? I did.
Clum can't argue that.
So the gift of the Shield is given, and I do find it funny, you know, When You Wish Upon a Star, wasn't that sang by Jiminy Cricket, if I recall?
Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, and that's why he called him Jiminy Cricket right before he sang it.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan being compared to a cricket.
Yes. I think he's called him Jiminy Cricket a couple times now. I believe. Didn't he call him that last week as well? I think that's something he's been calling him.
The insults keep it coming, I know that. I'm kind of getting lost with all of them. But we do have that set up for later on, which ended up being the main event. Our first match of the evening.
Which the funny thing about that is like, oh, you're going to be punished by facing the Shield, and we're going to put you on TV for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's good for business. Daniel Bryan on 40 minutes of wrestling.
Of course.
Just don't get the strap. So, we are given a stipulation. The WWE Universe chooses between CM Punk and Curtis Axel. A, Paul Heyman banned from ringside. B, Paul Heyman is the special guest referee. Yeah, that's going to happen. Or C, if CM Punk wins, Heyman must step in the ring with CM Punk. First thought, which one is going to get chosen?
Oh, I wonder.
Let's see what's what was it? Like they're like,
Yeah, can't wait to see what the universe decides.
So
or something like that.
stupid.
But I'll tell you the funny thing about I kind of liked
And they
about
didn't announce
that.
who made the, like, they didn't say Maddox did it or whatever.
And they were almost making fun. I mean, I almost felt like everyone was almost making fun of the fact that it was obvious what we were going to choose. They give you two crappy, you know, that no one's ever going to choose, and then the obvious one. And so I don't think it was as much as, oh, we're trying to make you go towards C. Everybody knew we were going to choose C, so they're kind of making fun of it.
I mean, I think those polls are generally like that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very like a duck or a donkey or a superstar. You know what I mean? It's just like so weird. It's like, okay.
The only time I can think of where it didn't go as planned was when Chris Jericho had to wrestle CM Punk, and they thought it was going to be Randy Orton with the flash polls and all that stuff.
There's your flash polls, Orton.
Yeah.
Oh, flash polls. But yeah, I think it was 81%.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised it was even that low.
That close. Well, yeah, because you have the guys going, I am not going to vote C just because everyone else is voting C.
Right, yeah.
See how high we can get A.
or the person that accidentally types a different letter and then sends before.
No!
Fat fingers.
I voted for the referee.
4% fat fingers.
All the hipsters refuse to vote C. Hey, I'm going to vote for A.
I don't care. I'm not even watching Raw. I just saw it and I just lost my remote. I don't care.
That's your hipster voice.
Yeah, that is my hipster voice. That's pretty good, right?
That's like really good.
I don't care. I don't even have cable in Silver Lake. So our first match of the evening, Cody Rhodes versus Fandango with Damian Sandow at the announcer's table. This match goes on for what? A couple minutes tops.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to this match too. It's unfortunately never came to fruition.
But it set up quite an entrance. Fandango's music hits. The Miz coming out in the Macho Man Randy Fandango outfit with Rosa Mendez.
Oh, we haven't seen her in a
she's
bit.
back.
Good to have her back.
Yes, she's been gone longer than Josh Padget. Yes, she was.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Saying something.
So they came out. They looked great. They danced, they sang, and then Cody got him with the roll up, and all hell breaks loose at that point, where Sandow gets involved in the fray, Miz gets involved. So Brad Maddox does his best Teddy Long and comes out and makes the immediate tag match.
Which I thought he was funny. Like, if you guys have to figure it out, this is the match. He's like, we're gonna make a match, and if you haven't figured it out by now, this is the one it's gonna be.
Hope you kept your dancing shoes on. Because the match is happening now.
There was a great quote from Sandow, though. He said, I think JR, I can't remember exactly who said, not JR, sorry about that. But anyway, he said, Cody has your number lately, and Sandow said, yeah, but not my briefcase. I thought that was a good, yeah, it doesn't matter if I lose. Yeah.
Sandow's pretty much always on point with his mouth.
Yeah.
He's just hilarious nonstop. Did that come out wrong?
Yeah, that came out kind of weird.
Josh, can you enlighten us on that at all?
Oh.
Does this relate back to Anaheim?
What happens backstage in Anaheim stays backstage in Anaheim. Believe in the showtime.
Wouldn't it be cool if Sandow is the first guy who his contract expires? Like, Cody keeps screwing him all the way to...
For a year?
For a year.
It's going to be a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. That's why I was
so
hoping they
good.
were going to do that with Dolph this year, but that's a long time to invest.
Well, we talked about how maybe he'll just lose every single match until he cashes in.
Yeah.
What
And
if
then
he
continue to lose as he...
cashed in and then Cody just like takes the title from him?
That could
Yeah, like
clearly
right away.
happen.
Yeah, but how would Cody get the match immediately?
Or what if Cody ends up taking the title from Del Rio and then bam, Sandow cashes in versus Cody?
Right,
That would be very interesting.
That'd be good.
And that could be a feud that'll continue over for a much bigger stipulation.
I kept thinking this would go for wrestling for the briefcase, but tonight the commentators were talking about like, oh, Cody said that it would only go for, he's first in line if Sandow gets the title. It's like, well, okay.
Which makes you wonder that's where it's leading towards, because I'm with you. I thought there'd be a briefcase match coming up.
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
I'd like to see someone sometime win the title.
They've never done it before.
It's wrestling.
Anything's allowed.
And you know what we've never
Mr.
seen?
Kennedy and Edge had that match. Well, Kennedy hurt himself, but they did wrestle for the briefcase, and he
That's
lost
how
the briefcase to Edge.
Yes.
And then that's,
And
but
we've never seen somebody win the title when they have the briefcase without cashing in. We've seen people get title shots without cashing it in. So it'd be interesting to see someone have the title and the briefcase. And then they lose the belt, immediately cash back in and take the title right back. So we've never seen that. We've never seen anybody with that title and that case.
That almost be kind of when Jericho became the undisputed champion. He'd have both.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool to see.
He's got his insurance policy there if he loses.
They still haven't had anyone cash in at WrestleMania either, which I'm surprised by. Like, I keep hoping that there's going to be a big, big moment there.
That would only have been able to really happen the last couple of years because WrestleMania used to be where Money in the Bank originated from.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
And it's been the last 4 years
I
that
feel
they've had
like
the pay-per-view.
they have so many big moments on WrestleMania though that they don't need to use the.
But like we were saying, all the swerves seem to happen on the Raw after WrestleMania, so it'd just be nice to have that one. It could be a very comfortable moment.
People are going to buy the pay-per-view anyways, so they don't.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, it would be unexpected. I agree. I'd like to see that. That'd be cool.
Plus, I think you got to look at the fact that Sandow's briefcase is so fancy and awesome. I don't think they're gonna let that go for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to use it as a weapon at least
prop.
9 times.
Yeah, it's too good of a prop to just get rid of.
Corinthian leather.
I like that he owned up to it being a chocolate bar this week.
I wonder who paid for that. If WWE or Sandow had to buy that himself.
You think they'd make him pay for it?
I don't know. I mean, I wonder if that was his idea and like they made him pay for that because people have to pay for their own their own attire. Yeah, I mean, and that stuff runs money sometimes.
Orton gets an Escalade.
I know the M&M jacket.
Come on,
You get the perks.
Well, maybe he took a loan out from the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, much like the $1 Million Belt.
He got himself a briefcase.
that's true.
Ted DiBiase Jr.
Yeah, I don't know how things like that. I would think they would give those.
He got cut today.
Did he?
What?
Yeah.
Get
No,
out.
He,
Well,
he did not get cut. He did not resign.
Oh, boy.
Which I was
Really?
surprised to hear he was still signed.
Yeah.
I hope JTG's safe now because
Yeah. Man,
Really?
I hate seeing.
That's
he's
who
like
you're
been
worried about?
hiding.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm good. I'm
Yeah, I
good.
don't know he's back there still.
Yeah.
He did wrestle on Superstars last week, so he's there.
I saw him
And
there
he-
live.
I
was
saw
at-
him
I
at
know,
SummerSlam. He was backstage with his family.
He was at the Mick Foley show at the
Yeah.
Improv as well, so you hate seeing guys get cut. You hate seeing.
Why would he?
Well, you
do
hate
that?
to see anyone lose a job. I
Yeah.
mean, it sucks.
Yeah, I know.
Especially
DiBiase?
these days,
Yeah.
it's tough.
He ain't got the heart anymore.
And once you get cut from
had a
here,
baby.
there's nowhere else to go.
DiBiase.
Well,
did
you can
have
go
a
to
baby.
TNA and not get paid as well.
That's yeah. Well, you can go to TNA. They'll pay you for 3 weeks, and then they'll stop using you, and you'll be under a contract where you can't make any money.
But hey, we're gonna keep it on the positive here. So,
and then
yes.
they'll hire an MMA fighter. to
So the
replace it.
tag match, yes, they will. So the tag match, as expected, there's 3 things we're sure of in life, guys. Death, taxes, and Fandango will walk out of a match, and that's exactly what he did.
That's true.
Walks out on Sandow. The
We'll say
Miz,
his name.
yeah, the Miz with the skull crushing finale, and so Cody and Miz win, and then Fandango just grabs the mic. It's almost like Fandango is so delusional in his own world, which is so cool. He literally grabs the mic, happy as can be, and just says his name. Like he didn't just walk out in a match. His winning percentage is like Cleveland Indians-esque in the 80s.
Hey,
What? Who's a Cleveland
my
fan?
team.
Since when?
I think you're from Chicago. Shouldn't you be
I
White
made
Sox or
Raven
Cubs?
wear a Indians jersey on
that's
our
right.
show.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was
That's right.
more of a major league reference than the actual Indians team. Have you seen
No,
Major League?
I think you guys should fight it out.
1, 2, and 3.
I think you should fight it out too.
Back to the minors. Wow. She made it back to the minors.
Oh wow.
So Fandango says his name, and I like the Miz Fandango thing.
I do too.
Yeah.
You think we're going to see Rosa continuing with The Miz?
I don't know.
No, I think this is probably a one. They needed a girl to do the thing with Miz.
Yeah.
Maria actually danced with him at SummerSlam. I think it was kind of.
And
playing off
considering
that.
you have been
Great.
on,
Great way to bring up a girl from NXT.
Yeah, true. But I think it was,
Hey.
hey, Maria, we've been trying to find a way to get Ava Mendez into it, and so
Sure.
hey, let's get her back.
They could use
considering,
JoJo too, since they've been trying to put her in certain.
Yeah, but I think they're
situations.
keeping all the divas from the show kind of together in there. So I don't. They're not really separating those girls and sticking them on guys. They're keeping them all in the same storyline.
and it was good to see Rosa, considering you have been on WWE TV more than she has recently.
Yes, that is true.
So-
we need a
Or
partner.
not me, at least Southern California indie workers have definitely been
Yeah.
on.
And so good
have
to
got a
see
lot more
Rosa
screen
back.
time.
There was no Rosa Slam, I can tell you that much.
Everyone loves Rosa. No, there's a Clumber Slam, though.
There's definitely
Tell you that
Clumber
much from here on out. It's good to see Rosa Mendez. So if she stays with Miz, hey, we're all about it.
Yep.
Moving on. Her former friends. Ole, the Los Matadores vignette.
I'm excited for this.
Hell yeah. We saw that multiple times today. I didn't know what I don't know how to do
They
it.
clap and then they.
Ole.
Yes.
And I love the way they kind of feel like the old newsreel footage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with the grainy.
the grainy thing,
Yeah.
Black and white crowd.
Yeah, I love that. I
They show
think it's
pictures of
done
guys
really
getting
well.
dumped by bulls.
Getting impaled in a couple of those pictures.
Impaled.
Yeah, and
Great
I'll
adjective.
tell you, just their mannerisms and the claps and the everything they're doing looks really funny.
And the Batman and Robin masks almost like it's
Oh
just,
yeah.
Yeah.
everything about these vignettes are really entertaining.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to be
They
before
just
they show
need
up.
Tito Santana to come out with them now. Can you imagine if they bring in the Matador to be with the Matadors?
Yeah, and their song is Girls in Cars. Sign me up.
Chico Santana and the Flying Burrito. Remember that? Chico! That damn Chico and his Flying Burrito.
Jesse was a racist.
Jesse was awesome.
So Los Matadors, we're not done talking about them guys
No.
because they're coming back at the
Yes.
show.
BRB.
Moving on, BRB.
You know one thing that makes me happy about this, other than just the fact that they're Epico and Primo are going to get some time, is
Sure.
this shows me they're repackaging a tag team.
You got it.
So this makes me think hopefully we'll get some more of this and new emphasis on the tag team division.
Oh, yeah.
Not just putting 2 big names together and having them hold the title.
Absolutely.
Like, let's build this division. It might take a year still, but it feels like they're starting to do
Hey,
that.
Real Americans and PT Peers going at it. Of course, you have the Shield hanging on to the belts.
The Usos are a real tag team. I mean, there's...
Yeah.
And like primetime players and Real Americans, remember back in the day, we talked about it, I think last week, you used to have tag teams feuding for no title, just feuding.
Yeah,
and that's
several
kind of
teams.
what we would like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PT Peers and Real Americans, that's a solid feud right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think British Bulldogs and Heart Foundation, would feud without belts on the line all the time.
Absolutely.
I mean, people are obviously into it. The Matadors trended on Twitter, like during the Punk Axel match.
They should. The vignettes are funny, man.
But as we've seen before, it takes like 40 tweets to get trending on Twitter.
Really?
Sometimes
Is that it?
I don't know. Maybe it's more than that, but it's not as much.
It's all
We've seen
40, 1,000.
We've seen some things. I mean, I just remember Smiley and I were
I've been
looking
told
at.
that it's 1,000.
Is it 1,000?
Yeah.
It's not as much as you would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's challenge
It's
the
not like
AfterBuzz.
hundreds of
Steal
thousands.
the Matadors' thunder right now.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right.
Yeah.
Debbie Downer.
There's only 40 Los Matadores fans, but they got them trending.
The rabbit.
So, Christian is then backstage, basically says, he's asked about the new regime, well, not the new regime, but how Triple H is in a power-hungry control with, Randy Orton. Christian says he's lived through the McMahon-Helmsley era, and he knows how to survive. Orton comes in.
I like that.
Yeah. Orton comes in, flexes nuts, and Christian basically says, there's a great quote by Christian here. He says, Triple H likes to play with sledgehammers, and now he found himself a new tool.
Yeah, that was good.
Zing.
Zinger.
And Orton has nothing to say. He just walks off.
Yeah.
That was it. Mm-hmm. I like Christian. That was a good.
I do too.
Solid.
I love the reference back to the Attitude Era.
We go from that to Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman backstage. You see Heyman looking a little uneasy.
Was it that, or did we have Punk with Renee first?
Oh, was there Punk with Renee? I guess there may have been.
With Renee.
Okay, go
I think
for
it
it.
was like a pre-recorded segment. Or
Yeah. There was some little thing. I think
It was like a backstage.
a little backstage interview. I forgot what they said.
Yeah, basically, Punk does Punk, and Renee does Renee.
Yeah,
and Punk is great.
Does Punk do Renee though?
Well,
that's the question.
Hey, that's not us to decide.
He's known to be pretty popular backstage.
Josh is the one who was backstage last week.
Yeah.
Not finding Renee Young.
No.
He's got a lockjaw.
So, we then have Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman backstage. Paul Heyman looking a little nervous because obviously the stipulation's coming up. Curtis Axel says Punk can't out-wrestle him, and the situation right now is better than perfect. And then he looks to Paul Heyman as like a little boy trying to get, a confidence boost from his dad before a Little League game. He says, "You believe in me, right, Paul?" And Paul looks back at him and says, "Like my life depended on it."
Very good.
But I didn't believe Paul when he said that.
No. I don't think anyone did.
No, I don't think Paul really believed it.
No.
You were reading his nonverbals.
Yes, I was.
Subtext.
Ever the observationist, Ryan.
Thank you.
Clum.
Thank you.
That's why he's GM.
Cluminator.
Yeah.
Kathy, what are you doing over there?
I am hanging out in chat roll.
Okay, how's it
Just
going?
chatting.
It's great. People are talking NXT.
Good.
All right.
I guess we brought up NXT a few times. I guess we'll continue to do so. Make the
Yes.
chat room happy.
NXT is awesome.
Oh my God.
My personal
The
favorite
match
show.
this last week with Cesaro.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Let's talk about it. Damn. 2 out of 3
falls.
Woo!
Sami Zayn and Claudio also, and they wrestled so many times as El Generico versus Claudio Castagnoli on the Indies, and those guys have wrestled so many times. It's been such an amazing.
They make all this dangerous stuff, and it's just incredible. Yeah. I mean, Zayn flying through the ropes, and then I'm saying Claudio Cesaro catching him off the top and throwing him in the air, and then the bam.
It was probably the best WWE match all month. And
Match of the year.
One of the matches of the year, definitely.
It was trending like crazy the night it went down.
Yeah, his spinning tornado DDT through the turnbuckles is awesome.
Can somebody let me borrow their Hulu account?
You know what? I just read they just put it all up on the actual free Hulu now.
Yeah.
So they just this week
Why do
started
I
that.
pay for Hulu then?
They just started this
There's
week.
actually,
It's
guys,
brand new.
there's
Subscription
websites.
canceled.
There's websites you can find everything.
Yeah, you can find on other places.
Daily Motion.
Website?
Including YouTube. Yeah, it's this place called the Interwebs. It's on a computer. Keyboard.
Do I still need to pay for music?
No, you could steal that shit too.
You just blow my mind.
Yeah. What?
Use the password.
Nonetheless, you dropped an F-bomb, Kelly. What are you talking about?
I'm waiting.
You and your cupcake mouth.
I'm allowed to.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I'm waiting for Sami Zayn to pull out the brain busters. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that where he brain busters you in the corner? It's sick.
It's just those two. I mean,
I want Zayn. He needs to move up now, like soon.
Well,
I think he'll move up pretty quick.
I would love to see him and ADR go at it, and like ADR beats him bad, and then he comes back as El Generico, and he's like, "You are not Mexican. What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh man." saying like, oh, it'd be awesome.
I don't
Then he
think
beats
you're
him.
ever. You never know. I mean,
That'd be awesome.
Dude Love did make an appearance, so you never know.
Yeah, but I still don't think they really want to go with anything he did.
And it's a different world today where they want to own everything, so it's still very hard. I don't think you'll see Generico, but you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, he is doing this like I'm the real Latino character right now for ADR.
6 years down the line, he's a huge star.
Well, Zayn talked about his
something with it.
Well, Zayn talked about on NXT about his Arab, Middle Eastern background. I think. Yeah, I think he was speaking Arab. Was it? If I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think he speaks Farsi.
So I think El Generico's out of the question at this
point. He speaks like 3 or 4 languages.
Yeah. He's a Renaissance man if there ever was one. And it looks like he could chop down some wood with that beard.
That's right.
No doubt about that.
He's got a sweet scarf too.
So Curtis Axel, Paul Heyman backstage. Moving on to Curtis Axel versus CM Punk. Jerry the King Lawler announces the choice. Not a shock. With 81% of the vote, Paul Heyman needs to get in the ring if CM Punk wins. This match was, I thought, actually pretty fantastic. JBL with a great quote at one point. If Chris Brown and Rihanna get back together, so could Punk and Heyman.
Oh, that was funny.
Which, good comparison. So Punk does get him with the GTS at the end. Crowd goes crazy. Heyman must get in the ring. Of course, Heyman tries to run like a scalded dog. Security grabs him, featuring Clum.
Oh, Mikey O'Shea from Southern California getting a little appearance. So awesome for Mikey. You can see him on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
Bam, grabbing Paul
TV
Heyman.
nationally.
Grabbing Paul Heyman. Heyman goes into the ring. Punk corners him. You know something is not great about this scenario. Axel comes up from behind, low blows Punk. Heyman breaks out the handcuffs.
Yeah.
Michael Cole goes, who did that? And it's like, and JBL's like, he's right in front of us.
So the
It's Axel.
stipulation was
Where are you looking at?
So it wasn't a match. He just had to get in the ring with Punk if he won. That's what the stipulation
had
was.
to get in the ring.
I guess so, yeah.
Which is what happened.
That would have been really disappointing had he got in the ring and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he got in and then ran out real quick, and he's like, hey, let me through.
He tried to run. Axel low blows him. Heyman breaks out the handcuffs. Punk gets handcuffed yet. Still manages to give Axel a sweet kick to the head. Knocks down Heyman, starts to kick him, but then Axel comes up, nails him with a chair.
And the place started going crazy when as soon as Punk gets the upper hand there, place starts going nuts.
All hell breaks loose, though. Then the kendo stick comes out, and then from there it becomes just kind of creepy.
Yeah. CM Punk's
This is
back
amazing.
was just tore up. That kendo stick.
Kendo stick busted.
Heyman was just amazing.
ECW style.
It was really like a scorned woman the way he was acting.
Hell-
it
hell
really
hath
was.
no fury.
Like a scorned
I
wife.
loved you!
Yeah, it was awesome.
I fathered you!
This dramatization brought to you by Josh Padget.
Is Heyman?
I marked myself for you.
That was one of the shining moments of the night for me. I mean, there were some others in the next segment as well. There was something coming up, but
I mean, Heyman broke the stick. And then went out to the ring and continued to beat on Punk right in front of the announcer's table.
Yeah.
Screams one more time, or maybe a bunch more times, I loved you.
Yeah. And I thought Axel did a good job kind of keeping himself involved here, you know, because he very, very easily could have gotten outshadowed by these two. And I mean, they definitely were the two focus guys, but I thought he still did a good job staying involved and being vocal and I'm here, you know, and being involved in the beatdown.
I think it's safe to say
I thought
this,
he did an okay job.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say this segment really made Curtis Axel more interesting.
He did an okay job.
He did. I mean, those two guys could completely
Kathy's just
outshine him.
really-
Yeah, that's
We
right.
have different
I mean, it's
definitions
tough.
of okay.
With those two guys, I mean, I think he's improving. I think he's getting more
He's
comfortable with the
definitely improving.
character. And
Kathy's sitting on that throne over there.
and he could have gotten eaten up in
My
this
low and
segment. I
mighty
mean,
throne.
I thought he was at first.
yeah,
I really thought he was.
He said he thought he was at first. I mean, he definitely could have gotten eaten up in this segment and I didn't think he did. So I thought he did okay.
The question is, where is this leading to? I mean, obviously at Night of Champions, they did announce this later on in the show. It's going to be Punk versus Heyman and Axel in a handicap match where apparently according to Brad Maddox.
Is Heyman the handicapped one?
Whoa.
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
He's a walrus. Not
Yeah. We will not have any naysayers against walruses on
I
the
love
show.
Heyman. He's amazing.
Well, way to backtrack, Kathy.
Yeah, there you go.
Own it. Own your comment. So Maddox basically makes a match. It's not really quite clear to me, but apparently if CM Punk wins, then Paul Heyman is gone.
Yeah.
Or something. He
It was
says, you will
something-
never see Paul Heyman again.
Was that it?
That's
Or
what
if
his quote was.
Or if Heyman refuses to get in the match or something like that. I forget what it is. Yeah, I was a little confused on that. I thought that's what it was.
Handicap elimination match. Okay, if Heyman backs out, he'll never see Heyman again,
that's what I
whatever
thought it was,
that means.
Okay.
If Punk loses, I guess there's no stipulation
Yeah,
there.
no, it's no stipulation. It's just that Paul has to be in the match.
Yeah.
If he refuses to take part of it, he will never be around again.
I know for sure
That's the way I took
it's
it.
a match at Night of Champions with a champion not putting the belt up on the line.
Yeah,
Which
but
is
I
very
mean,
interesting, yeah.
But does Night of Champions have to have titles on the line? Just has to have the champions out there. I mean, and I think this gets away with, well, you can have Punk go over without having to then put the Intercontinental title on him, which, I
Right.
mean, maybe that's not a bad idea. But
Which
I
they don't
mean,
need to do.
Right, because it's more of a secondary title these
Or
days.
we still got
but
3 weeks. They could put the title up.
They still could, but I don't think they will.
And
I
that
think
could be
this
a way
is-
for Axel to,
I think this is their way of doing the storyline and not having to put the title on the line so Punk can go over without having to put the belt on him. That's just the way I see it.
I wouldn't have as big a problem with it if he had wrestled recently with that title. Like, the title hasn't been up for a while.
Yeah.
Him and Andrews
They
both
do
just
that.
haven't been wrestling for their title belts at all.
They do that all the time. I mean,
well, Ambrose did at SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, he.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But Axel, I couldn't tell you the last time
there's too many titles right now. We no longer have the brand split, so now there's 4 belts where there used to be 2, and then you had we split it to a secondary and a major on both shows, but now you have 2 major titles and 2 secondary titles, and it's too much right now.
Technically, I think we're seeing the World Championship more often on SmackDown. But you're right; they really are splitting it all
It's like
up.
the world titles almost become the Intercontinental title, and the Intercontinental titles become the European title. It's like everything's downgraded. So
It's like,
I think
what's the US title,
we need to step everything back up a notch. We need less titles.
Or give something like a hardcore title. Not that I understand, but something that has some kind of theme to it, or something that gave it a
I feel
special.
like
You should have if you have a champ. In my opinion, maybe this is just because I grew up in the '80s watching it, but not everybody held. There were Hall of Famers who never held a title in the WWE, and to me, that should be special to hold a title.
And the
Like
title
not everybody
means
should
a
have
lot
one.
more when CM Punk has it for almost
A year.
400 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, when there's less of them and they turn over less, it makes them more important. And when you have it, it helps elevate you and elevate everything. So
If it was up to me, I would get rid of the world title.
I would too.
And keep the mid-Carter ones, just because it helps give something to fight for.
You can't
helps
get
them
rid of the
grow.
world title.
get rid of the big
though.
gold.
Come on
People
now.
don't see it.
You're
from Atlanta.
You can.
Come on now.
I think I don't see why you can't. I mean, it served its purpose. It's the WCW title.
It's not their belt.
It served its purpose while you had the brand split. But right now, it doesn't really make sense. So, I mean, you can reunify those titles.
And how do you have 2 top belts? Like, that's kind of confusing. I
It
think.
is confusing.
Like,
Well, if you see them at live events, the one does go for $150 less than the other one.
Doesn't
if that means anything, yeah.
And then
The
you keep-
WWE is $450 and the World is for $300. You can get them both for $750. I add that up.
wow.
Yeah.
450.
You don't
I
get
guess
a deal on
Rain
that?
on Johnny.
You keep the IC title and then use the United States as like your 3rd tier. That would almost now be the European.
So you're in support of getting rid of the World.
I'm in support of getting rid of titles. I'm in support. I mean, I'm in support of having less. There's too many titles for these shows right now. Having 4 titles for the show doesn't make sense.
I don't think the U.S. title needs to be here. If I was going to cut one, it'd be the U.S. for sure.
I mean, personally, I'd cut 2. I'd cut the World. I'd get rid of the WCW
2
titles.
titles?
Yeah.
But then you have to change them over more. I agree with.
but if
I
you-
think
you-
the number of titles is fine. I think you just shouldn't change them over
see,
every 2 weeks.
I know you're the reason for this many titles is you always had it was always a major title and a secondary title.
I'm
when,
right.
When WCW was bought, they split the brand. So you went Raw and SmackDown, and so they brought these other titles in, so each show would have a major title and a secondary title. Now we've combined them, so now there's 4 championships.
Sure.
It's just too much.
You bring up a good point, Clum. I'd be interested to see what our
it's just my
listeners and viewers
personal-
think.
Just my personal opinion.
Do have a very important tweet we came in from Gorgeous George at @ForeverTheDiva _ Peter Pan would take the best RKO.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Not a bad, yeah.
Get a lot of elevation.
Could Dumbo,
A lot of elevation.
Dumbo could probably take a good, real good one. Big dude
Right.
that can get light.
You just RKO just RKO the trunk.
Dumbo's a big guy that can get light.
RKO that trunk. And that Cody Taylor, I mean, this dude's a Photoshop master. If you wish upon a star, Bryan will yes up your car. And you see that picture of that Escalade.
Nice.
Oh, this
good,
I
Cody.
love you all.
Escalade.
I love you all. Okay, let's move on. So, yeah, Paul Heyman loved CM Punk. That's the takeaway message. We have a match for Night of Champions set up. Moving on, we have JoJo, who is one of the most adorable human beings I've ever seen.
Yes.
In the ring as a special guest ring announcer, Natalya with the Funkadactyls versus Brie Bella with Nikki and Eva Marie. Basically a rematch from SummerSlam. And man, this turned in. This whole segment was fantastic. I mean, the match was good.
Well, the match was kind of short.
It was quick, but we found out why afterwards.
Yeah, I would have loved to see a longer match into
Me too.
what it was.
Me
like,
too.
give these girls even more time.
Natty locked in the
but still it was
sharpshooter,
great.
and
it was.
Natty locked in the sharpshooter. Basically, Nikki, pulled Brie over to the ropes. Natty gets whiplash from the ropes.
Yep.
Brie comes in, hits her with the.
It's an X Factor.
X
I don't know
Factor.
what she calls it, but it's an X Factor.
And Brie gets the pin. That match, those two in the ring, that could have went a lot longer for sure.
Yeah.
One of the Funkadactyls attacked Eva Marie at one point outside the ring. But, so we thought that was just going to be a scuffle. And then AJ's music hits and pipe bomb.
Pipe bomb.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very shoot feel. I mean, I'm very interested to start reading like what happened.
Everybody. I mean, all 6 of them. She was talking to all of them.
Yeah. And the Bellas. I mean, it's like, was this a shoot? Was it a work? Is it a work?
Because the Bellas were shutting their mouth.
The
Be
Bellas.
quiet. I'm trying to hear the best diva promo of all time.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Bellas did not.
Yes.
stop
It's up there. It's up there.
Yeah,
I can't think of someone who's done a better promo than
I mean,
that.
that's the funny thing is people give people gave me crap for saying that AJ's the best, diva on the mic there's ever been. Well, after tonight, how can you deny that?
And the
You know what I
Bellas
mean?
were talking through the whole thing. They did
right?
not
They didn't
shut up the whole time. I mean, it made it feel like it looked like some of the girls were pissed.
Well, she said some pretty cutting stuff.
She did. So it's one of those things. Were they prepared for that? Did they know? Did they not know? These are the moments that make wrestling fun.
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
like, was that real? Was it not? And the truth is, we shouldn't ever know.
The Divas division is
that's what
getting-
makes it exciting.
She said she had done more in 1 year than all of 6 of them had done collectively in their whole careers.
She had a lot of quotes. She called them cheap, interchangeable, expendable, useless women who had to go to a reality show, and then brought up Brie and
cut it
Nikki's
as actors.
Yeah, because they couldn't
Yeah.
cut it as actresses. I mean,
I didn't get here because I was cute. I didn't get here because of my famous wrestling family.
Yeah.
I didn't get here because I sucked.
Which
Up
first
to the
off,
right
it's funny
team.
that she called JoJo and Eva Marie the other two.
Exactly.
Yes.
Amazing.
Now I'll back up Natty. Natty did not get with WWE because of her family. I
No.
mean, she was told no.
For 5 years, she
Yes.
was,
Even
more so.
Yeah,
But nonetheless,
It's ooh.
she worked her ass off to get there.
it made it for a great promo.
He's trying to cut down on nonetheless.
Hey,
guys.
3 is not bad, and I'm not going to say it again. That's not bad. So whoever hates me on YouTube, give me a break.
Great drinking game if
Just AJ, no matter how many $4,000 heels you can do red carpets on, you'll never be able to lace up my chucks. I mean,
Yeah.
just
Awesome.
I mean, what else can you say? And it was on everyone in that ring and outside that ring.
written
I
so
was behind
perfectly
her.
and
Yeah.
delivered even better.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the delivery was a big part of it. Just the fact that it actually, like you were saying, it felt
Yeah,
real.
it
Like
felt
they were
real.
Definitely.
And it was edgy.
And it was like,
Oh,
why
wow.
she just went and cut down the 6 girls. I mean, heels, faces, it didn't matter.
Everyone.
She just ripped everyone to shreds.
The only ones missing were Caitlyn and Layla, really, right now.
It was.
Yeah, but I mean, because they're not on the TV show.
Right.
She just cut down the people on
Which
Total
makes
Divas.
perfect sense.
Right.
It gives more hype for Total Divas. And now it makes you wonder, where in the hell is the Divas division going? Are they all just going to be headhunting for AJ? I mean, what is that?
Or is it going to be the Total Divas versus the rest of the Jealous girl roster going,
maybe.
Who else is the rest? I mean, she's not going to team up with Caitlyn.
Layla.
I mean,
Layla,
could you just
Alicia Fox.
turn them all kind of heelish and have the
The crowd was,
other girls?
crowd was
the girls
backing
behind
AJ
them,
up.
yeah,
They
no,
were,
yeah, that's
because
true,
it
they
was
were.
edgy.
They
It was
were.
fresh. It was good.
And one of the
That's what they
Bellas had a great tweet afterwards saying, "You have the nerve to bring up our father. What about your parents? You sob about them all the time," or something like that. I'm like, well, that's a pretty honest tweet.
Caitlyn had some tweet that kind of sounded like she supported.
What?
What AJ said?
And
I'll look it up.
You know what the quote was too when she said something that what she said something about sucking, and then Cameron threw her thing down. Drew,
Yeah, sucking
remember
up
that?
to people, and
Sucking up to
Cameron threw
people,
the
and
pom-poms.
and she put an emphasis on the word suck.
Yeah.
and Cameron reacted to that. So
No, yeah, sucking up to people or
Yeah.
something to that
But
extent.
Sucked up. Or
well,
sucked.
sucked, but she put
to the right
emphasis on the
people.
word suck.
I mean, isn't Cameron the
purposely.
one that got the DUI and didn't get fired?
Yes.
So I maybe there's something
The
to it.
DUI and lied to the cops about her job, and then went on a European tour and didn't tell anybody.
I mean,
A lot of people have gotten DUIs and not got fired. Though.
Yeah, point taken.
Swagger.
No, that was a weed UI.
It was still a DUI. Driving under the influence
of
doesn't
weed.
mean the influence of a
So-
specific
He was driving very
controlled
slow.
substance.
Caitlin's tweet, I want to hate AJ, ... but sometimes I just can't.
Whoa.
Hashtag, I always enjoy a good innuendo.
Oh, and that maybe she was talking. I mean,
What?
Was that something they threw at Cameron that got under her skin? That was a little rumor going. I mean,
But there were so many innuendos. What are we talking about?
The way she said the word sucked, and then Cameron threw her thing down over the rope onto the floor, threw her pom-pom down, and turned around. I mean,
I think it's safe to say none of them knew what was coming.
I don't think they did.
And I don't even think, to a certain extent, the writer, maybe it was a Punk situation. They're like, you know what? This is what you're going to do.
Just go shoot.
We trust you. Go out and crush it.
And
Nobody grabbed for
maybe AJ's pissed and like, I'm the top girl here and I'm not on this show and blah blah blah, and maybe they said fine, go talk.
Tell you what, that was legendary. Maybe you're right. Maybe we're setting up for like almost like a Divas elimination thing, like Total Divas versus
the rest of the girls.
Yeah, maybe.
It would make sense. I mean, just have the girls that are jealous and mad.
Can you make the Bella's face, though?
I don't think it's gonna be that way.
I
It sounded like
I
AJ
don't know if
came
that would
over.
need to be.
She was over tonight.
Yeah.
That wasn't exactly a heel promo. That was an attitude promo.
Yeah.
Attitude era right there. I mean, AJ single-handedly proved that the Divas division doesn't have to be an afterthought anymore.
No, and it
Yeah.
shouldn't be.
She could be an edgy. I mean, maybe she just be edgy babyface with that.
Could be, and
more Attitude Era
Natalia.
style.
I mean, she could be mean if she wants to. She's strong enough in the ring
yeah,
to where she can kick anyone's ass.
Yeah.
So I mean, she could team up with the Bellas, and I don't.
I mean, she was
I don't
a
know.
heel with Beth Phoenix. They did
Absolutely.
Divas of Destruction or
I
Divas
don't-
of Doom or whatever. It was.
I don't know. I mean, that just throws everything. And maybe this will, AJ will just keep the title for that much longer if they go into a massive feud as a huge group. And maybe
Total
they'll
divas.
Maybe they'll introduce a few new divas from NXT, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple that
Bailey
are
and
down
Paige,
there.
Emma.
Bailey,
Paige and Emma.
I'm not. Yeah, Emma. I'm not huge on her. She's all right. Is
that this
I
one?
don't. Yeah,
She is funny.
I haven't bought into that yet, but I love Paige and I
like
love
Paige a lot.
Bailey's character. You saw the Bailey AJ match on
Yeah,
NXT this
she
week.
hugged
Was
her
very
and all
fun.
that stuff. Yeah.
Ric Flair's daughter just
I like-
debuted a
she
couple
looks
weeks
cool.
ago, and
I
she's
like her,
really
but
good.
I think she needs a whole new. I don't like her gear. I don't like her look.
She can improve her look a little bit. I think she's a very pretty girl, but her wrestling is on point.
It's her wrestling's getting there. It's new. She's less than a year in training, but for someone who's only been in a year, she's doing very well. But
Very gymnastic-y.
Yeah.
I think she needs a little bit of a repackaging, but I think she's got some potential.
Plenty of time. But man, AJ just threw everyone watching through. Like when she came out, you didn't expect that.
No.
I mean, I know we're talking about this a long time, but like this is making the Diva division not only interesting and relevant, but like you don't know what's gonna happen. And it's been building, it's been getting better. But now this is just the champion comes out, and it's just like what?
Yeah, it was so strong. I thought they were like filming season 2 of Total Divas or something.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Man.
just like so on point. It was
That
like,
might be on Total Divas.
This
Who
has
knows?
got to be going
Definitely
somewhere.
is.
Pretty exciting.
I'm excited to see what happens maybe on SmackDown or Raw next week, because you can't just after a promo like that, you can't just not continue to build.
Whatever they give AJ, she just freaking owns it.
That was a show stealer for me.
Yep.
Hands down.
And that came from her. Like I'm sure the writers gave her some ideas and what to talk about. I mean, the way she
you never
delivered it,
know.
she felt that. Like that's literally what was in her brain, and she proved herself even more tonight.
And it really feels like she was shooting from the hip on this one, because first of all, the Bellas didn't seem like they were on the same page. They didn't like what they were hearing. They were being loud and catty the whole time. Natty was being professional, but
Natty stepped up to the rope at one point and didn't look very happy.
No, it's
when they
perfect.
started talking about her.
And then the commentators, that bugged the crap out of me too. When they cut to them, Jerry's smiling, going, "She's so crazy."
Yeah, that
I'm
was
like,
stupid.
what
Yeah,
do you-
I know.
She's not being crazy
Pay your
right
respect,
now.
yeah.
She's being awesome.
Yeah. Pay your respect. Like get off the
Speaking the truth.
get off the AJ's crazy character. Like if she wants to flip out during a Ziggler Big E match, fine.
Fine, but that's
This
not
is
what she
different.
was doing.
Yeah.
Are you watching the same show we are?
Just hot damn.
Yeah, it's awesome though.
It really, really was. I'm excited to see where it
I
goes.
can't
from
wait to
here.
watch it again.
Yeah. That's all there is to it.
I'm looking at it.
We spent a lot of time on that segment.
We did, but it needed to be said because
did.
we've
That
never
was a
seen
great
anything
segment.
quite like
Yeah.
it. And I would like to know what happened backstage. That is a WWE app video I would like to see.
Yeah.
Tune
I'm
in to Total
interested.
Divas.
Hopefully some rumors start coming out and
They
we'll start to
ordered
hear what happened.
They ordered 6 more episodes of Total Divas.
Was it 6 or 8?
I don't know. They ordered
It was
more
a bunch,
episodes.
yeah.
This will probably make air.
Yeah,
You would think.
It was 6 more episodes,
and
yeah.
it was a 6, and they were shooting. They were shooting while we were at SummerSlam.
They were shooting
was-
at the
Yes, they were.
pre-SummerSlam party as well.
Yep.
Access, yeah. So they're in full production.
I had to sign a waiver, so
Hey,
look for me. Look
Me
for me.
too.
Dale signed a waiver, everybody. Dale
we go.
signed the waiver. Look for the pink hair.
in perpetuity throughout the universe.
Considering I saw your hair from across the arena at SummerSlam, you're going to see you on Total Divas. Pretty sure.
Thank
Well,
you.
he was talking all the divas at the pre-SummerSlam party.
I talk about the divas a lot.
No, you talked with them.
Oh.
Dale talks with everybody. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
We talked about this. Dale just walks up to people
Yep.
and just gets personal.
Hey, what do you hate?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
I know. He gets, as if they're laying on a couch, he just gets personal. I'm like, so tell me about your mother. All right, moving on. Ricardo Rodriguez brings out RVD. We have RVD versus ADR. All right. Possibly setting up, obviously, now a future match because RVD wins, gets the #1 contendership thanks to Ricardo Rodriguez is wearing his RVD shirt, jumps up on the announcer's table, gets a little bit of a distraction, RVD with the roll-up. I think this match is obviously championship light. They didn't want to give away too much with this match because it's going to be a pay-per-view.
Hit the leg scissor roll up. You don't see that very often.
No, I'm into it.
What do you guys think of the? I mean, I know we talked about this a little last week, but I feel like Ricardo is such a cool character, and RVD can be very funny, but I just haven't seen any charisma between the two of them. I know it's only been a couple weeks, but I hasn't seen any sparks fly. I don't really understand.
Maybe this will be
their,
temporary, and then they'll find a better. Maybe this is a placeholder for the two of them
just
right
for
now.
ADR feud, maybe.
Yeah, and we need to keep Ricardo on there until we figure out where we're going with him. So he's feuding with RVD, so let's just stick Ricardo with him for the time being and see if it works. And if it doesn't, we can separate them 2 months down the line. If not, we'll we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
Maybe it's one of those.
Yeah, I feel like there's good potential for them to do something really funny together. We just haven't.
And I kind of feel, it's one of those things that's like, let's see what they do. If it's cool, then we'll continue it. If it's not, we can separate them.
It's a little bit of a forced packaging, but I mean, Ricardo, ADR has to, do
but
something.
sometimes those forced packagings work out great. Look at Kane and Daniel Bryan. They were put in, and as we've heard, because we knew Smiley was there for those vignettes of the anger management.
Yes,
it was originally a fight between them to set up a feud, and they ended up cutting all that stuff, and it became this tag team.
Yep.
Yeah. So sometimes you see stuff like that.
So maybe we're just a backstage segment away from it being good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it was planned that Team Hell No would be together and run almost 10 months together.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
The fans loved it, though.
Yeah.
So we do have that match set up for Night of Champions, World Heavyweight Championship on the line, RVD versus ADR. We'll see if there's any other stipulations that get added to it. Next, we have a little tiny segment with John Cena showing his surgery scars. He's out 4 to 6 months. Daniel Bryan thanked him earlier, obviously, in the show. And, Cena's arm does not look great. It's going to be a hell of a recovery. Not an easy one.
No.
So we'll see him in 2013.
And I mean, obviously this sucks, but maybe this will be a little bit of a blessing in disguise. Sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder.
And the rest of his body.
They've been giving him, A, needs rest.
Needs it, yeah.
This guy works all the time. Plus, the fans, they cheered when he said he was going to take time off.
It was awful. That was the one
terrible.
I think that,
So
honestly,
let him go away for a minute.
he will need to recover for 4 to 6 months, but I think that we will see him on Raw before then.
Right, just
Yeah,
cutting
in there every now and then.
Yeah.
See, I would kind of like to see him stay out until he shows up and kicks some ass.
Yeah, I've heard possibly Royal Rumble, even though that would be an early return, but I'm hearing they're talking about maybe a Royal Rumble
But
return.
they did that exact same thing
Last
on his
year,
last
right?
Yeah.
Well, last year, and when he had the neck surgery with Batista, he returned at the Royal Rumble to win it. So
Maybe that's his thing.
Yeah.
His body breaks down around July. And then, no, he needs the rest. I say don't rush him back. I say if you have to, hold him out until we're close to
I don't think that
WrestleMania.
they would rush him back. I think that he wants to rush back.
Of course he does. He's a machine.
4 to 6 months, and John Cena time is like 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
He recovers more than.
See him on Raw in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's just. I got to tell you, this Disney pic of Triple H holding up Randy Orton like he's what's this? The little one called Simba.
Simba.
He's holding up one-legged Simba. You don't see the picture?
No.
Oh, Gorgeous George, Forever the Diva _
Forever
just
the
pulling
Diva.
out all the stops tonight. I don't know. I can't do two things at once. Just come over and look at it. All right.
It's really awesome.
So Ryback backstage with Josh Matthews, and Josh Matthews says, "Hey, you've been bullying everyone." So Ryback grabs Josh's cheeks, lets him go, then goes for the double cheek grab. Says, "I finally found a way to shut you up," and then laughs and leaves.
Kiss me
more. Kiss me more. A little
That
better
would be
than
funny if Ryback just starts making people kiss him. You're gonna kiss me. Yeah, you can kiss me again.
established dominance.
I know what'll shut you up.
No, please don't kiss me, Ryback. On the cheek, right now.
Have like a grizzly gimmick.
I mean, I'll put it. This was better than the thing on SmackDown.
Sign up.
Yeah. This was better than the thing on SmackDown where some random guy happened to be backstage. Like, hey, gotta get your autograph.
That was
bad.
I've loved these bully segments. That was a bad one. That was the one that was a stinker. It made no sense on SmackDown.
And it just took way too long. It's like, how did this guy get backstage now? And he doesn't know who Ryback is.
And the minute he said that, Ryback should have like grabbed him by the throat and started really bullying him and physically abusing him.
Made out a little.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell looking at that
Just
guy.
kissed him.
That guy's not a bump kind of guy. Pretty sure by looking at him. I don't think he was a.
And this was the first guy that wasn't an employee of WWE either. He was like a fan, right? Or a guy back there.
He was probably a local worker, though.
Maybe there was a reason why they
didn't want
beat him up. Like, we don't want Ryback.
I didn't
When people
recognize
see him in the airport, hey man, you beat up that guy, you will beat up me. And Ryback's like, oh,
Yeah,
God.
maybe, yeah.
But I'm still enjoying the bully segment. I mean, they're not all going to be winners. You have enough bully segments. One or two are not going to be great. But we'll see where it leads to. I'm excited to see who steps up to him.
He can't hit a home run every time.
Yeah, but I guess maybe they're waiting for something. Maybe they're going to introduce someone new to Ryback.
Yeah, I mean, it almost just feels like they're doing these to keep Ryback relevant while they figure something out for him. So it's almost like it's almost like a repackaging of Ryback a little bit. You know,
so unfortunate. Like, why would you have to repackage your main guy?
Because you
should give the belt to the person who.
No, well, here's the thing about wrestling is it's all about evolution. It's all about changing your character. I think Edge is one of the best examples. If you look throughout his career, you had the Rated R Superstar, you had him and Christian doing the goofy hats. You always need to keep
Triple H.
You always need to keep changing it up. You get stale, and so they're changing up Ryback. We've had him for a year and a half. The Feed Me More. So now we've got the jacket and we've got this bully thing. So it's almost like a repackaging and having these vignettes, and then we'll I think see him in some feud here. I like it. I like the fact we're stepping back, we're taking a breath with him, we're repackaging him, and because he'd kind of taken a little bit of a downside.
You know who I'd love to see debut, and I know this isn't going to happen. The Bulgarian guy from NXT. How great would that be?
Oh yeah.
How good was that match with him and Dolph?
Yeah.
I'd never seen that.
I love his character.
Who is this guy?
We
love his
always end up talking more about NXT.
He's so good.
I like that he writes his opponent's name on that board.
Yeah, and then he breaks it.
That's a cool.
You know what he almost made me think of was the Barbarian after he left the Powers of Pain, and he was more. He kind of made me feel of that a little.
No, that's the Berserker.
Wait, that's the Berserker. Never mind. I was going to say, wait a minute, that's the
Barbarian.
Very close. So maybe they're going to introduce someone new. Back to the Divas. That Cody Taylor sent me this from NoDQ.com. So the Bellas tweeted.
Sent it to me too.
Well, okay, Cathy, I'm going to read it.
Kathy's caddy on the couch.
I know,
Yeah.
Cathy.
Competition.
Cathy on the couch.
Competition, cupcake, Cathy Kelley. All right. The Bella Twins posted on Twitter, AJ, remember you would be nothing if WWE didn't partner you up with every top guy. Try being a diva that makes it on your own. Then our very own Maria Kanellis follows up with, Nicole and Brie, really on your own. You two are the fluffers of the locker room, and you held back 3 other girls from getting contracts.
So the only difference is that WWE is paying Nikki and Brie to tweet that.
Maria's just shooting at the hip here.
Oh, yeah.
Learn a little bit about professionalism. The universe will take care of you. Then ends it with, God bless.
Yeah.
Because that's the best way.
That's a shoot. They're not friends.
No, they are not.
Have you ever noticed,
From what I understand.
there are certain things that you can say at the end of a very crude remark, like no offense, but everything that you say before.
It doesn't help at all.
But you're an idiot.
God
So,
bless.
yeah, we go from one bully segment on to another. Renee Young catches up with Heyman and Axel backstage. Axel says Punk will never forget what happens later on tonight. And Heyman looks physically exhausted. Eyes are bloodshot. He's sweating.
He's so sad.
He just says, I feel like a man right now. He was beaten by his own father figure, and that Paul Heyman is the last person he should ever come up against. Then they hop in a Nissan and bounce.
Yeah.
Got the biblical references.
Yeah.
Took out my prodigal son.
Had to teach my son a lesson. Yep.
Who is driving the car? Who's behind the wheel?
It's Rikishi.
I don't think it
Pretty
matters.
sure it's Rikishi.
I think I did it for Paul Heyman. I am the new Heyman guy.
Oh, that was too bad.
Yeah.
Too cool. It was too cool of a driver tonight, guys. So this next match was fantastic. Christian versus Randy Orton. I mean, Christian, man, he be bumping.
He's been doing this for weeks now in a row. Christian's been putting these like 5-star matches on, whether it's SummerSlam, it's Raw, SmackDown. Nobody can stop this man.
And this match was going back and forth. I mean, Christian got him with the spear. Then, of course, the referee gets tied up in the corner. Orton with the eye poke RKOs him for the win. But, man, we got to give kudos to that match.
That bump off the turnbuckle to the mat to the floor.
Yeah, and he's done that recently. That's a
ballsy move.
I'll tell you from experience, man, that is a rough place on the ring. Whenever you take a bump on that, that's just a steel beam right there. It's the stiffest part of the ring.
Anytime like that, whether it's a pile driver or like what Christian did tonight, the physical therapist in me just gets scared. I'm like, God, don't do that.
About
on the lower ribs.
2 months into my training, I took a bump, not even on the apron. It was right on the edge of the ring by the ropes. And I knocked cartilage loose or something, and I was in pain sleeping for months.
Couldn't breathe for weeks.
Yeah.
Well, right here in the rib cage, that's real sensitive.
Yeah. That is a rough spot to be bumping on.
Even the center of the ring hurts like hell. My God.
The ropes hurt, right?
The ropes were the worst.
I stubbed my toe last week, and it made me almost cry. So
and he stubbed his toe on the end of the ring, so he knows.
Oh, yeah. Testifying right here.
Testify.
Yeah. People always think it's a trampoline. I'll have to have Steven load up a picture sometime. I've got a photo of what the ring looks like that I took once when a ring was going up, where you see the beams and the wood and all that stuff. I mean, you would look on it, everyone's like, oh, it's just like a trampoline you bounce on, right? When you see them constructed, you'll see it is not
wood.
It's steel and wood with about that much padding and the canvas over it.
So kudos to Christian and Randy Orton for Christian wanting one more match. He is going out there like every match is his last.
Stiffest guy in the WWE.
Kathy, that was
Brodus.
Brodus.
That was supposedly a Brodus thing. We're not going to get into Kathy. Kathy just shooting tonight.
Always.
I didn't say that. I was quoting
Well, you brought it up.
Yeah.
Sharp shooting from the couch.
I gotta say, I did love the finish on this too with the eye poke. Good way to distract the referee, and if you know, referee's looking like, did you get it? But he didn't see it. Like he knew what happened, but
and then of course Christian didn't see the RKO coming.
Yeah. Because that's one thing that's always important is you don't want to punk out the referees. You don't want to just gouge eyes right in front of them.
Yeah, if they don't call you on it, they lose credibility.
They lose credibility, and I've had guys do that in matches like, oh, ring my eyes, like the referee's watching, stupid.
And Randy Orton comes out victorious.
It's gonna make him look terrible.
I'd like to see Randy Orton bring the punt back. If he's gonna be heel, I kind of miss it.
That's everyone's kicking people.
It's a banned move though.
But everyone's kicking everyone in the head nowadays anyway. What's the difference?
It's
the broski boot.
It's weird. It's weird. They'll ban things like I know they banned the
pile driver.
No, they banned the shooting star press at one point and told Paul London he couldn't do it anymore. And then Evan Bourne comes in. They're like, oh, that's a great move. Do the shooting star press.
He weighs less.
Yeah, it's weird how they'll change their minds on things.
It sounds like he's gonna be on NXT.
Oh, here we go.
Evan Bourne?
Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He tweeted something about like.
Is he making his comeback?
He's got to make a comeback.
Oh, that's great.
He's been out long enough.
I really love Evan Bourne.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and we'd love to see him back. So
I was afraid they would cut him.
Me too.
I was really afraid they would just cut him when he was healthy to come back. So I'm glad they're not.
Yeah, DiBiase or Evan Bourne, I thought for sure.
Because that's what they do. You know, when they can't cut you while you're hurt.
Right.
So that's why you see guys come back and then they get cut like a week later because they literally will be waiting sometimes for you to get healthy so they can cut you and get you off the books.
Well, we want Evan Bourne to come back at 100%. Now, Randy Orton wins the match. All is well until you see Daniel Bryan backstage with a familiar black SUV behind him. He basically, with orange spray paint, yesed all over the Escalade. Escalade, to which Michael Cole called it a Escalade.
All over it.
Yeah, all over with the
Pimped
orange
his
spray
ride.
paint. What's that?
Pimped his ride.
He pimped his ride. We go
He's like
pimp your ride.
exhibit.
And that was fun how he
very
just
similar to
yesed
Exhibit.
everyone.
I put a fish tank in the back seat.
You're welcome.
You got a disco ball.
That disco ball dropped down. Oh, that's like a mix of Exhibit and Booker T. I don't know.
It's fine. It's fine. It's all right.
So, Randy Orton can't seem to keep a car clean between him and Kofi in that race car a couple of years ago. So Daniel Bryan, he gets him. He gets him. We go to commercial. Maddox, Orton, and Triple H are there with the Escalade. Maddox basically tells Triple H that every superstar in the back was laughing, and the WWE Universe was cheering when Bryan. And that just really got under Triple H's skin.
Oh, he don't like that.
No, he don't.
He said, "This is my property."
Yeah, Triple H don't play. He says, Brad Maddox, you tell every superstar to get to that stage and watch what happens to Daniel Bryan. Anyone who interferes at all, who laughs, who says anything, who helps out, will be fired by Triple H personally, and he will laugh while he is doing it.
Girl, bye.
Done. Girl, bye.
Yeah, I love Escalade, by the way. I was rolling on that
was
one.
great.
I definitely would buy a Escalade if that was an option. And
I would roll in one of
Escalade
them.
money, yeah.
It's a positive message, yes.
Yeah.
If Daniel Bryan ever joins up with Helmsley, would that make him a corporate yes man?
Oh, you just got a new gimmick at some point. In 2 years, he's got to be the corporate yes man.
Wow.
Yes.
Shave the beard.
There you go.
Or at least like tie it
back hair.
up and make it look like a little
you have him
face helmet.
No, you have him
Clean.
When you go that way, you have him go clean. You cut it all off and
Yeah.
full
Stands with his hands
sell out.
behind
No,
his
you
back
got to
the
go.
whole time.
Yeah, at some point he's got to sell out. But that's a ways down. He needs to have the title, and we need to have a nice chase and all that before that happens.
But
So
we'll bring it back to this day.
maybe a year and a half from
Josh
now.
Padget calls it out.
Calls the corporate yes man.
Calls his shot like Babe Ruth in the 20s. Or whatever decade Babe Ruth was good. Or multiple decades. I don't know. I wasn't around. All right. Titus O'Neil versus Jack Swagger. Of course, Darren Young got the best of Antonio Cesaro last week. So Titus also basically gets the best of Jack Swagger. Wins with a cool toss-up power bomb after Zeb Coulter just gets...
Great promo by Coulter, though.
He's crushing it with these things.
Yeah.
If you can't feed him, don't breed him.
Very edgy.
Welfare. Oh my God.
Calling him a bunch of buffoons.
We keep waiting to see what he says every week, and it gets like racier and racier.
Yeah.
Depending on who the opponent is.
I mean, this week it was racier.
Well, I guess as long as the Real Americans keep losing, they're going to at least let him say what he wants.
Yeah. I love the fact that we have some managers. I mean, not as many as we did back in the day, but we've got a couple now, and they've gone back to a couple of the managers. That's
a character,
I think
too,
it's
you know?
an important part of wrestling that's been forgotten.
As long as you don't
over the
make a
last few
Kobe
years.
Bryant joke, you're fine.
Yeah.
What a
I
tragedy.
mean, when I was growing up, almost every heel had a mouthpiece. Almost every heel had a manager. There were very few that didn't.
Well, there aren't that many, out there, I guess.
Right, and well, I mean, it gives you a mouthpiece, and it also gives somebody to get you heat as you're in the middle of the match to grab and do things. It gives you more things to do to get heat with the audience.
And I think we talked about how we really dig the PTP versus Real Americans feud.
Yeah.
This is just building it up.
Yeah.
And this is one that doesn't have to have a belt involved. I just think that both tag teams are so entertaining.
Yeah.
The whistle hits when PTPers come out, and Zeb's the mouthpiece. Yeah.
Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
All right. Speaking of mouthpiece,
Had to get that out.
You've been waiting all day for that one. I can feel it.
It just feels good. I feel like I burned at least 25 calories doing that. Speaking of mouthpiece, the Wyatt family are next.
Bray's already
Just
top three talkers on.
Oh my
on
gosh.
the roster.
Just talking about Sister Abigail, who we have not seen anything about.
No. Greatest name for a finishing move ever, though. Sister Abigail.
How about this? Her touch could save the world, but her kiss could burn it to the ground. She told me I was a chosen one since before I was born. It's like, what?
I saw on Twitter a lot of people were wondering whether Sister Abigail would debut as a character, but you said
She's
that you
dead.
heard
She's dead.
she's
She died.
dead.
But
I saw her.
doesn't
take her last
necessarily mean
breath.
anything.
Yeah.
Undertaker's
We're
dead.
talking about, I would love to see, like, some maybe old footage of Sister Abigail, of some old grainy 60s style footage of maybe her preaching or doing some stuff.
we don't
so
really
maybe we
know
can
who she was.
Right, so maybe we can learn about Sister Abigail and see her even though she's dead through stuff in the past, and that can be part of it. I think that could be really cool.
I want to know where all this came from. Like, this
want
is
more
just
background.
so out.
Yeah.
Like, was there?
So interesting.
Is there a historical perspective? Like, is this something that went down in the bayou or something like that?
I don't
like,
know.
I want to know where Bray or
did she
all this
raise
came
them
from.
maybe?
You know,
or-
my guess is, my guess is it came from the name of the move. He named his move Sister Abigail, and they said, "Hey, his name's
But
Sister
there's got to be a
Abigail."
reason for the name. Maybe there's a story behind it.
Maybe when they were just coming up with things, they named, okay, hey, she would be one of our people, and then they had this great name. And my guess is this story that we had tonight came off the move that they had named. They didn't mean for this to come off. They named Sister Abigail a year ago in NXT. It was just the name of the move. It's a cool name, Sister Abigail. And my guess is this story just came off that.
Man, it is.
And it's brilliant the way they did it.
As if the Wyatt family doesn't need any more levels. They got one.
Yeah.
I mean, just the whole thing.
Yeah,
Just,
so deep.
Maybe-
It's just
I was there with her
layers.
last breath when she took her last breath, and like I was chosen. What?
Maybe she used to kiss them all goodnight. That's why he kisses them.
I think it's what it
before
is.
he does the finisher.
And it's this is just one of those things that shows, when you're writing a screenplay, you learn character drive story. You want interesting characters. Interesting characters, complex characters, simple story is the way to usually write a film. Is the most successful way. Usually, the best films are those. And this is just proven that this is super complex, interesting characters, and the stories are going to be able to get out of those interesting characters. I think are going to be amazing.
And have we seen the last of Kane for a while? That remains to be seen.
I still want to see him slightly repackaged. Or
is Carol-
But take a minute, take a month for him to come back.
I'm okay with that.
They
What's
want me
up,
to
Kev?
mention that Audrey Murray was with the Bray Wyatt family. But
Oh yeah. In the early vignettes,
Yeah.
there were some
But then she got
Audrey.
cut.
Yeah.
So.
Was she Sister Abigail?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
She was just part of the family.
She's
Yeah.
just a cult member. It'd
Yeah.
be cool if we brought a diva up and like she was spitting image of Sister Abigail and like he's just going nuts.
Oh, yeah.
about it. I want to
And like you're
join
the
family.
that would be
You're
cool.
reincarnation.
You're the reincarnation of Sister Abigail, and you have her in the old '60s videos, and then the
Yeah.
girl not wanting to
Yeah.
join. They could try
They got
to
a
do
little photo of
some
her or
creepy
something, you know?
ceremony, like they go back to a little corporate ministry stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Do some like trying to abduct her,
and then someone says there are so many ways you can go with this.
There's so many cool things you can do with the Wyatt family. It's
And kudos to whoever is
infinite,
putting together these
infinite.
vignettes, because hot damn, between
They're creepy.
which we'll get to another vignette we love in just
How
a
many
second.
nightmares do you think kids at home are having solely because
Yeah.
of the Wyatt family?
Well, I've had
gotten-
3 already.
And they've gotten good. And I think at first they were trying to be creepy. If you look at some of the first ones, they didn't feel all that eerie. They felt a little goofy, but
Subtlety is key.
They have gotten really good at making these things really, really creepy.
Yeah.
They've gotten really, really good at it.
And we did mention earlier what came up next, CM Punk and Brad Maddox. That's basically where Punk demands to have Heyman. Maddox makes the match for Night of Champions. We pretty much already covered this. We don't really know the exact stipulation, but if Heyman backs out, he says Punk will never see Heyman again. So that's that. We pretty much already talked about that. But we go from the Wyatt family vignette to a little bit more of a lighter vignette. Los Matadores number dos!
Yes.
Ole!
Olé!
I did it wrong. I don't know what the hell I just like hit my chest twice and then
You were like trying to restart your heart.
Well, I guess
problemo.
technically the roster came out, and then we got the second vignette.
yes, we did get the second vignette from Los Matadores, which was a little bit different. Like it said, showed guys getting impaled, but then it showed that they were two like just amazing matadors.
And was it talking about some specific bull that killed all these matadors, but they defeated it? That's kind of the gist I got out of.
Yeah,
they were trying to tell a story in that vignette.
I thought they said something about they'll be debuting with
A bull?
some special bull or something. There was some weird.
Wouldn't that be
wordage. We
awesome
should
if
go
they
back.
bring a bull down to the ring?
We should go back and listen to it.
Can
'cause
we
they said
can we
something
name the
weird.
bull Matilda?
Oh my dear.
Instead of a bulldog.
If one of the wrestlers on the roster needs a new gimmick, they can be the
Bull. Oh, wouldn't it be funny if they put like Yoshitatsu and somebody else in a bull suit, and the one had to be the front and the back?
It'd still be,
JTG.
still be more screen time than he had.
JTG and Yoshitatsu.
Poor Yoshi.
Yeah. At least he got in the Ryback segment with me. He was right in front of me. Justin Gabriel actually got cut out of that.
Hey, he's got a job.
He was the first. He was in front of Yoshi in line of the at catering.
He's got a job.
Justin got cut out of something.
They cut him for you.
Yeah. Poor
Josh
Justin.
Matthews is still trending on Twitter, which I find very, very interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
All 40 people.
Yeah.
I think the rule is 40. Like, why? He just got his face pushed by Ryback. Why is he still trending? Well, good for Josh.
It's because West Coast.
Oh, that's what's
going on
that's
right
right.
now.
It's airing West Coast.
People are watching the West Coast feed, and I like how Ryback's not
Kathy.
trending yet. Josh Matthews is trending.
Ryback's like, dang it, come on.
Trend me more. So the final match is of the evening, the main event, the Daniel Bryan Shield Gauntlet match. The whole roster comes out on stage. And I'm wondering, I think, one of us said, why is Renee Young hanging onto a microphone right now?
I liked this.
Hell yeah.
I thought this was really cool. It really felt like a game sideline reporter type thing. I want to see more of this. They do this at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. You used to do this, right? Did you do the in front of the ring interviews?
I did
after
a little
matches?
bit. Did a little bit of everything.
Yeah, they would kind of do that, and I'd like to see more of this, like Renee Young maybe hanging out.
Because it's real, but you need to have an interviewer that can handle that, and I don't think she's ready for that.
Maybe not, but maybe we should start doing this, having just someone hanging out by Lillian Garcia. Yeah, they're always down there, and they immediately grab people and are doing interviews ringside.
Sideline correspondent.
Yeah,
I mean,
it felt cool and real and like a sporting event. It was awesome.
It just really set up everything where she went to Big Show first and said, hey, how do you feel about the way you're being treated? Big Show's just like, nothing. And then she goes to Ziggler, who's never at a loss for words. How do you feel about how you were treated? Nothing. Then she goes to the Miz. Miz, you're always outspoken. How do you feel about this? Miz said, I do have a feeling about how Triple H regime is and then he just
shut up.
clams up.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you know what I really liked? This didn't feel pre-produced. It felt spontaneous and live.
It kind of was.
I feel like it was pre-produced.
No, but it was live.
But, I mean, it was alive, but it didn't feel like the backstage whatever segments. It felt more like a sporting event, like someone on the sideline, like, hey, let's go to Renee Young down, blah 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 blah. And she got a couple quick bites, and then we're back to the match.
It's something we rarely see.
Yeah, it had a very different feel to it.
It was nice too because a lot of times those backstage segments feel like time fillers, you know. But this one was like, well, the Shield's coming out, so you know how that goes. So I'm gonna hit up these people while they do their thing. So it felt very like good flow to it, and it felt very natural.
It felt like we got to get there for 30 seconds, and we got to move on really quickly here. It had that live feel to it.
Everyone's pleading the fifth. It really built that story that much more.
Yeah.
With the three of them, and so we move on.
I thought Big Show was great. His acting in this too, just
Big Show's
we mentioned
we
it.
see later when he's just turned and angry,
frustrated.
We mentioned while we were watching the Ironclad contract.
Yes.
And someone actually tweeted me about that as well.
Yeah, and my response to that is, he would have an Ironclad contract, but now he's a babyface, so he cares about being on the show and doing something. And fine, Ironclad contract, but we'll pay you, but your face won't be on TV. We will make you irrelevant.
I doubt they'll even bring up the Ironclad contract.
Right, but if you had to bring that up, well, we'll just make you irrelevant, not put you on TV, and we'll just pay you to sit there.
You'll grow old off television.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Just kind of like the idea where Hollywood studios will literally buy screenplays to stick them in a drawer so nobody else can ever make them. Things like that will happen. So we'll just stick you in a drawer, Big Show, so no one will ever see you.
That's a big drawer.
Yeah, it's a very big drawer.
It's a big drawer.
Maybe we put him in a closet, giant closet.
A massive closet.
Maybe we'd have to put him in John Cena's closet.
He's got a big one enough.
Do you ever see
John
Cena's
mansion
closet
in Tampa?
mansion?
Yes.
Which one of my favorite parts of Total Divas is when Dan O'Brien's in there and like, what room is this? Or like the dressing room was like, this is a giant closet.
My apartment.
Speaking of Daniel Bryan, he takes on Seth Rollins first. What a match this was. You knew this was going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan with the super moonsault off the ropes, and then followed by the running knee, which unfortunately the camera did not pick up. But he hit him with the running knee and gets the pin. But wow, these two put on a show.
And this surprised me personally because when you the way they structured this, the match, I thought you were going to see a little bit more of the three guys. I thought you were going to see what's his name? Rollins here for a little bit, then Ambrose really come in and have a big part, and then Reigns come in for the finish.
Yeah.
But
I kind of like that they gave they gave Rollins the spotlight.
I do too. It was structured differently than I thought they were going to structure it, but I liked the way they did this. It was really a match. The match was really Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins. It was really one match.
And it seems like this is an ongoing thing with CM Punk and Bryan, is that when they have matches with these mid-carder guys, they have these long drawn out matches. Like when Punk came back after WrestleMania, he had a singles match with Darren Young. I hadn't seen Darren Young's finisher in forever.
Yeah.
And CM Punk let him do his finisher to him.
Yeah.
And then it was like, yeah, he still kicked out at 2, but, you know, it still put him over because this is our future. And we might have a run like in 3 years for the WWE title. And if I just crush you here on Raw, people are going to look back on that and go, oh, yeah, well, you see, he wasn't that good, but then why is he good now? You know,
I think part of the reason you're seeing that as well with all these guys having all these amazing matches with all those guys is other than Darren Young, but if you put the guys like Punk and Daniel Bryan and Ambrose and Rollins and Cesaro, those guys have worked each other for years, all over the world, all over the indies. We're now seeing
where
them
you have to be creative,
and we're seeing them for the first time in the WWE ring wrestling each other. But all these guys have wrestled each other for the last decade,
doing
all
same
over
spots.
the world, doing these same spots. I was watching. I was up in Utah wrestling this weekend, and we're in the hotel room watching the Sami Zayn and Cesaro match.
Just amazing. I mean, Zayn defied gravity going through. I mean, come on.
And the guy I was watching it with was going, "Oh, they did that at PWG. They did that at PWG." And the entire match was spots they had done in other matches all over the world.
Which just goes to show you
the indie guys had already seen, but this is new for us.
So much talent out there, and it's finally. Thanks to guys like Daniel Bryan, that talent is being realized on a national level.
Daniel Bryan and CM Punk really have changed the way.
Yeah, because WWE and even TNA is open-minded enough to bring in these kind of guys. I mean, you look at a guy like Austin Aries. Thank God he's been seen on a national level.
Yeah, and now even let's look at the guys that they've just signed in development. Sammy Callahan and you got Sean Ricker in there now, and you've got Samurai Del Sol, and there's some really
Most importantly, our very own GQ Money.
GQ Money is there. He's
making people better at NXT.
He's a producer. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
There, but as far as talent goes.
I know, but I just want to give him a shout out.
Shout out. Oh, yeah. I mean, hopefully he'll be running that place someday.
Yeah, he will be. Not hopefully.
There's no doubt in my mind he will be. He's
Pat, welcome to my NXT, everybody.
Yeah,
he said he liked my impression last week, so I figured I'd do it another one.
Oh, good.
So, so Daniel Bryan does get him with the running knee. Reigns basically, so Ambrose comes in within seconds. Bryan gets him in the yes lock. Reigns runs in, gets him DQ'd. Then within seconds, Bryan gets Reigns in the yes lock. And then, of course, Ambrose runs in. All hell breaks loose. Match over. Triple H comes to the stage. They do the triple power bomb. Orton comes out. He does, like you mentioned, a calculated RKO where he measures him up, nails him. Triple H turns around to the stage. Anyone laughing now? Who's got something to say? Orton comes back. They walk off. End of Raw. Daniel Bryan laying in a heap.
Big Show's priceless. Just turned, looking at the ground, just angry.
It was like a door had opened.
Yeah, and he just it was almost he was watching like out of the corner of his eye. Just he was awesome.
The evil empire.
Would have been cool if the Shield lifted Bryan up and let him do like a triple RKO to him, like hold him up and drop him far down. You know?
That would have been awesome.
That might happen at some point.
Yeah.
They got to come up with something. Yeah. They're going to beat him up everywhere.
Here you go, sir. Yeah. Oh my God.
Here's Simba. So I think we're almost out of time, but overall thoughts on Raw, guys?
Awesome. Yeah. AJ, you stole the show, lady.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I really want to see where that's going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially for Night of
really
Champions.
good storyline stuff. A really great match at the end. I thought, there was some
Christian Orton.
Yeah, that was good. A lot of the matches were just kind of little storyline things. There wasn't a lot of great matches today. That were just to get storyline points apart, but there were a couple really great matches and some really great storylines. And for me,
and then of course, Heyman and Axel destroying Punk.
That and AJ were the highlights for me. And I guess Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins.
And that was fantastic. And then, of course, Los Matadores. Shout out,
Los
boys.
Matadores.
So basically everything.
No, I mean those were.
My favorite part was
that was 3 out of 21 segments.
Bray Wyatt made me cry on the inside somehow, and so Bray Wyatt he was successful there.
Yeah.
So that worked. We need to go on to the contest, Cathy. Tell everyone the rules of the WrestleMania Cathy Cupcake Kelley chair.
Yes.
So we have a really cool chair, and the way you can win it is we want the most creative and funniest graphic.
Not a meme. We want talent.
We want talent.
Like a poster.
Yeah. So
like a poster.
Yeah, like a poster.
27 by 40.
Promoting whatever dimensions you choose.
All right, well.
But
shoot for the stars.
Well, just depends. That's on the printing end.
We'll make it 27 by 40.
Something that promotes AfterBuzz Raw. So tweet it to us, #AfterBuzz Raw.
And make sure it has some sort of theme.
Do we want it to include our heads?
Not just purple graffiti or something.
Do we want it to include all our heads?
I love purple.
If you
How
want
dare
to
you?
include our faces or whatever, that might give you a couple more points, but you are not required to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it has to involve, like you mentioned, a specific
Like a theme.
angle.
Yeah, you can make us all superheroes or
I mean, it
different
can
wrestlers.
be as simple as,
Whatever
being
you want.
different wrestlers,
Yeah.
but yeah, just come
Yeah.
up with the most creative content.
So if you know how to do the Photoshop, which is a thing on the internet,
You've got
Dale.
quite an edge.
Okay.
It's how you make photos look cool.
I brought you all mixtapes. Is
And,
that a problem?
And Steven is not eligible.
we will announce the winner in a couple weeks, so entries will be open longer than a week.
Should we set a specific date right now while we're here?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it is Monday, August 26th. Do you want to go for, I don't know, September 9th, September 16th? When's the next pay-per-view? That is when?
It's got to be the 5th. It said 3 weeks.
They said 3 weeks.
We should do it on Raw, though, not on a pay-per-view.
No, yeah.
No, I'm saying, though, should we do it the night after the pay-per-view, perhaps? After Night of Champions? Because we're giving it to a champion.
Should we have that on, or
right.
just 2 weeks? 2 weeks from today?
Well,
Would that make more? When's the next pay-per-view?
The 15th.
15th?
I'd say the 16th is good. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, why don't we do...
16th.
It's set.
And until then, maybe we'll
We'll
do a
take
couple
submissions. We'll take
DVDs.
submissions.
Oh, yeah.
September 15th. So Monday
Should
night...
we make a decision, or should we have them up in 2 weeks and you have a week of voting online? Should we put voting up to the
We will
to the
announce
fans?
that next week.
The Raw AfterBuzz universe. Yeah. All right. That's a good point. Okay. Yeah.
But start working.
Get
Get
to
them
work
going.
on it.
Start
Cupcake
sending
says.
them.
Make it happen. All right. Put yourself over, Cathy Kelley.
You can find me on Twitter @Catherine Kelley. I also did a great interview with 7 Lines earlier today, which you can find on YouTube and iTunes on our AfterBuzz.
Beautiful. Josh Padget.
I'm Showtime Josh on Twitter. Check me out on Total Divas AfterBuzz right before this.
Boom.
You can find me on Twitter @Cluminator.
Bam. Dale.
I am the Walking Dale on Twitter, and you can always find me on YouTube at Dishing on Movies.
Boomtown. I'm at Jay Quasso, but more importantly, if you could visit the website, thethumbwrestler.com. I'm producing my own film, and I'm actually trying to raise money for a pediatric cancer foundation. So if you can go to thethumbwrestler.com, you can click on the Indiegogo thing. It gives all the information. I'd appreciate it because I'm really trying to do a good thing with it and also make a really funny movie. So
That's awesome, dude.
yeah, thanks, man.
I guess I should also say we're working on an NXT AfterBuzz that may debut this week.
Nice.
Might.
We're into that.
So someone will give me their Hulu account before then.
Yes.
Okay, great.
We'll show you what. We'll hook you up, dude.
We'll get you on the interwebs.
You got me that wall. You got me that cassette tape. So I'm gonna hook you up. That is it for the Raw AfterBuzz show on AfterBuzz TV. Thank you for the listeners. Thank you for the viewers. Thank you for the chat rulers and everyone who sends in the memes. We will always give you a shout out, and we love you. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz ya later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.